In this video, I'm going to add a leash to my stand-up paddleboard. The paddleboard I'm adding the leash to is the one that's the Frugal Man's fiberglass. I've got several modifications in mind for this paddleboard, starting with the leash. Added this handle for carrying to the poor man's fiberglass board. Works out pretty well. The board's heavier and it doesn't really interfere with where we stand. But for the size of this board and the fact that I got a wooden spine right up the center where I'd want the handle, never really added one. Just put a strap underneath it and carry it that way, and that works out pretty well. The reason I want a leash for this is not because I'm doing any surfing and I'm worried that this one's going to get away from me. It's more having to do with when it's low tide. It's really tough to get this back up on the dock. So I really, more than anything, need something to lift it with. But I suppose it would be nice to, just in case I do fall off, to be connected to the board. This is about where I'm going to put the leash, and starting off just to make sure that that it's level here, because once I put my wood plug in here, then the plan is to fill it in with epoxy. I'm going to start off by cutting two discs out of this piece of plywood using this 3.5-inch hole saw. I'm going to go ahead and glue these two together. Really what I was after was a much thicker block. The next part of this is where it starts to get interesting. We've got a wood stringer in here, and I do want that plug to be centered. Also, I plan to glue the plug to the stringer inside here. I think if the plug is glued to the stringer, it's going to make for a more robust system there. I don't want to pull that whole thing out of here after a little while. This hole needs to be blind. In other words, it's going down but not through, and the depth has to be similar to the thickness of the plug. Can't be more than that, not by a lot anyway, and certainly can't be less. So anyway, the challenge is to go ahead and try to get this hole started centered, and then start drilling it out. Then as I start to drill it out, I can start to remove material and go down more if I need. Alright, there's no turning back now. So I've given some consideration as to how to get this this wood piece out of here. It goes all the way to the other side of the board, so I can't just break it off. And my original thought was to use a cutoff wheel like this. The only trouble is this wheel doesn't even fit in here, and it certainly does not have enough clearance to get through the wood. So I think what I'm going to do instead now is try it with the router. So I'll need to adjust this bit so that well, actually it looks like it's pretty close right now, but yeah, I think that's how I'm going to proceed with this. Let's go ahead and use that router to carve that wood out, and it should give me a pretty good surface finish on the top of that wood so I can glue my disc to it. So in my opinion, this is pretty funny. This went well, but it certainly didn't go to plan. So I got the router in there, and big chunks of wood started to snap off. But once I started routing on a smaller scale, then I got a decent finish here. So I test fitted my donuts here, and I need to drop down maybe another 1/8 inch or so. So I'm going to go ahead and drop this bit down a little bit. I got my hole dug out here, and I'm just going to go ahead and use some Type-On 3 to glue this in. So put a weight on it, and tomorrow I'll put an eye on here. I got stainless steel eye from Home Depot. I'm sure that'll be heavy enough. So I got a stainless steel eye from Home Depot, and then we'll fill it with epoxy and see how this works. So to finish this project off, I stuck that eye bolt in the center hole. It was the hole that the hole saw I actually put into the center, and I'm just filling it up with epoxy. I think I've got 3 pours on this now. I'm just trying to do a little bit of it at a time, separated by 15, 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, because the epoxy isn't exactly flowing down around this super fast. It's bubbling up, and I've tried heating it up with the heat gun. Made all the epoxy a lot clearer, but you can see right there by the eye, there's another bubble coming up right now. So I think I'm going to let this sit for about 45 minutes until it starts to firm up a little bit before I just top it off all the way. So my epoxy is just about cured. It's still just a tiny bit tacky here, but either way, I'm going to go paddling this morning, so I'm going to go ahead and throw this leash on it, and we'll call this project done. We did get a little bit of spillover here. I did the last pour fairly late at night, so I don't know that I'm worried about it. It doesn't look the best, but the alternative there is to sand it down, and that sounds like a lot of work to me. So on second thought, I decided to go ahead and see if I could trim some of that excess epoxy with a razor blade, and it was still gooey enough that I was able to do that. So anyway, looks a lot better now, and hopefully still functional. So this has been curing overnight, and it's still kind of gooey. So there's a slight concern here that it may not set up all the way, although it is kind of cool here for Florida anyway. I just got back from my first paddling expedition after installing this plug, and it seems to be in there exceptionally solid. So maybe some people would say that I didn't need to go that large, but considering that I'm really glued to the foam more than anything, I kind of wanted to make sure that it wasn't going to come out. So seems to be doing the job very nicely. Thanks for watching my video. Leave any comments, thoughts, or suggestions in the comments below. Have a great day.